Good morning on this Wednesday recipe pool. Here we are, live simple recipes. Simple, practical, everything we know, but rarely put attention on, unless it's our default muscle. And that's what it's about, isn't it? Checking in with ourselves, making that part of our life. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Check in on other people we love. Let's extend that out. Right, so what are we going to have today? Nervous system cooling. Beautiful. Such an intelligent system for translating what's happening in our perception, beliefs and experiences, for our body to feel, process and communicate to us. It offers such a gift of friendship, but are we open to know its wisdom, or is it a stranger? Totally. You know, our nervous system is reacting to our environment, which includes what we speak about, what we believe, what we're bringing into our awareness, what we're casting our eye on. Why is it that when we feel a hint of overwhelm, stress, anxiety or upset, we try to blame, control or change our environment and external experiences? Why do so many of us have a default to alter our outside experiences in an attempt to avoid or look at what's happening from within our emotions and feelings? I believe that this is because we aren't used to or aren't comfortable with or don't like the sensations or feedback our emotions signal to our body. It feels uncomfortable, and so we divert our attention elsewhere and label the experience as the cause of our discomfort. External factors have a massive impact on how we feel or react, and this is very real and deserves the tenderness and time to explore. However, what can help us to manage our reactions in a more consistently balanced way is to know what supports feelings of safety, as well as what triggers agitation in our nervous system. When our nervous system is triggered, often we will move further towards focusing on these triggers. For example, if news or war reporting is a known trigger, when feeling vulnerable, you may look at the news in hope to find everything is peaceful in the world. If it's peaceful, peace is felt in that reassurance. But if there's more disruption, it takes us even deeper into the symptoms felt from these known triggers. Our sense of safety can become dependent on external forces, which is never certain and will land us in emotional trouble for sure. What is more reliable and more truthful is to look towards what soothes and supports our nervous system, what we enjoy, what brings us a sense of calm and or joy, and what helps us to feel safe. In time, these things may become a natural default in holding ourselves in balance, as opposed to reactionary actions of doing. For this to happen, the habit of holding ourselves will need to have become a path well trodden. Totally. You know, in order for us to have a soother nervous system, our nervous system is a wonderful thing. It's designed to fight or flight, or, you know, just to no sense of danger. And if we're constantly putting ourselves in situations, or we're not knowing how to support our nervous system within things we love, which help us expand. I was talking about this in my Tuesday morning check-in online with a group of women this week. And when we're around things that we love, our energy expands, it opens us up. And when we're around things that we fear, or we have some kind of, resistance, probably for safety and for very good reasons, we contract. You know, that's how we're designed. However, how would it to be able to be around stuff like that, knowing that it's there, and being able to know what can keep us as open as possible and as safe as possible in our sense of wellness, without having to think we can change everything, because we can't. And it's that act of trying to control, to change, that causes anxiety. If we know we are safe within how we support ourselves and our environment, then I think the world has a very different lens to look through, and it does not diminish what's going on, but it allows us the respect to process those feelings, to be with them. We can't run from how we feel about situations. Well, we can, but we're holding it. We're not processing it. We're not honouring it. We're not giving our emotions the respect. And anything that tells you to move out of your emotion, unless it's too intense, and that's the most safe thing to do. But, you know, other times it can lead to disassociation and You know, we're here to be integrated as a human feeling being. There's very few situations where that's not safe to do so, and professional help is always paramount in those situations. But for the majority of people in everyday scenarios, that's not the case. So there are recipes within this chapter. There are nervous system soothers. For me, if I know I'm going to be around something that I know is a trigger for my nervous system, either side of that or throughout, I will scatter things for myself that I love. So if I've got something, a task to do or something that I emotionally struggle with, I need some support, I might have music on that I love, or I might have my mug of my favourite drink, or there'll be something there that, you know, puts that within the equation, you know, puts that into the mix of the energy. I find it really supportive. And afterwards, if I've been around a situation that's emotionally charged, I'll absolutely give myself space to feel into what's going on within that, and to bring my energy back to me. Otherwise, we're just living all over the place within our energy system. We're not integrated into where we are. It has to include our feelings. So also part of the nervous system is knowing what your triggers are, knowing what your soothers are, knowing what your triggers are, never avoiding either, you know, just being aware of what they are and using them as a support. I've got a recipe here which I call the sandwich of support, which is just what I spoke about. So yes, nervous system calling in this beautiful little book, which is page 103. Book can be found on Amazon or can be found at purepeace.co.uk. There's free postage there as well, and it will have another one to join it in October. So those that like to go a little bit deeper with journaling prompts and things, that one will be for you. Those that prefer a very, very, very light touch, enjoy. Much love to you. Bye.